Have you ever held back in a relationship? Not because you didn't care, but because a quiet voice inside whispered, "Don't trust too much." That voice is part of the trust and self-doubt trap. A hidden pattern that slowly builds walls around your heart and your choices. Over time, it can make you doubt yourself, hesitate to open up, and feel alone, even when others mean well. But here's the truth. Trust can be rebuilt. And understanding this trap is the first step toward freedom, deeper connection, and inner peace. The repetition compulsion trap is one of the most subtle, yet powerful psychological patterns we live in. It's when your subconscious mind keeps recreating the same emotional experiences again and again, even when you consciously want something different. It's not that you choose pain. It's that pain feels familiar. And what feels familiar feels safe to the subconscious mind. So even when you meet someone new or start a new job, some part of you, deep down, is looking for the same feeling, the same emotional atmosphere you once knew. It might be the feeling of being unseen, of being rejected, of being abandoned, or maybe of always having to prove your worth. And so, life becomes a mirror, reflecting back the same story, over and over, until you realize you're the one who's been holding the script. This trap is not about failure, it's about familiarity. It's not that you want to suffer. It's that your nervous system only trusts what it has known before. The mind says, "I want change." But the body whispers, "Change is unsafe." And so, we end up trapped between these two voices, longing for freedom, yet unconsciously recreating the same cage. Every pattern begins somewhere. And the repetition compulsion, this endless loop, almost always begins in childhood. As children, we don't just grow up. We absorb. We absorb the emotional world we were born into. The tone of voices around us. The way love was given or withheld. The way attention felt like a reward or a battle. If love came with conditions, we learned that love must be earned. If connection was unstable, we learned to chase people who pull away. If our emotions were ignored, we learned to silence our truth to keep the peace. And yet, that inner child never stopped wanting to fix it. So as adults, we unconsciously try to recreate those early dynamics, hoping that this time, we'll finally win the love we once lost. That's why you may find yourself drawn to people who remind you of your parents. Not because you like the pain, but because your inner child wants to rewrite the story. But the problem is, the story doesn't change when you repeat it with the same energy that created it. It only changes when you see the pattern for what it is. You can't heal the past by reliving it. You heal it by loving the part of you that's still stuck there. The repetition compulsion doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes, it's quiet, subtle, hidden behind everyday choices. You fall in love with the same type of person again and again. Someone who feels different. But somehow, they trigger the same pain. The same emotional distance. The same fear of being abandoned, or not being enough. You leave a toxic job, only to find yourself in another one that drains your energy in the exact same way. You promise yourself you'll set boundaries next time. But when the moment comes, you stay silent, afraid of losing love, approval, or peace. It's not because you're weak. It's because part of you is still hoping. If I can just handle this better this time, maybe it will finally end differently. But it never does, because the situation isn't the real problem. The pattern is. You can move to a new city, meet new people, change your entire lifestyle. But if you don't change the inner pattern, you'll meet the same lessons in different forms. Life will keep sending you mirrors. Not to punish you, but to wake you up. Every person you attract, every emotion that repeats, is a message from your unconscious saying, "Look, this is what still needs your love." When you see it that way, life stops feeling like punishment and starts to feel like guidance. How do you know if you're stuck in the repetition compulsion trap? Here are some clear signs. 1. Attraction to the same type of people. You keep finding yourself drawn to partners who trigger old pain, even when you consciously want something different. 2. Repeating emotional patterns. Arguments, misunderstandings, feelings of rejection. They echo familiar emotions from your past. 3. Difficulty setting boundaries. You often compromise your needs, staying silent when you should speak up, just to keep the peace or maintain love. 4. Feeling déjà vu in life situations. You sense that you've been through this exact scenario before, with a strong emotional familiarity that feels uncomfortable but familiar. 5. Unconscious self-sabotage. Opportunities slip away, relationships falter, patterns repeat. Not because you want them to fail, but because your unconscious is trying to teach you something. Recognizing these signs is the first step, because once you see them, you gain the choice to break free. Awareness is the key, and awareness always precedes change. Breaking free from the repetition compulsion trap is possible, but it requires awareness, courage, and compassion for yourself. 1. Recognize the pattern. The first step is to simply notice it. See the people, situations, and emotions that keep repeating. Name the pattern. Call it out. Once you see it clearly, it loses its power over you. 2. Connect with your inner child. Remember, this pattern started in childhood. Talk to the part of you that was hurt, ignored, or misunderstood. Offer love, reassurance, and acceptance. Healing begins when the inner child feels seen. 3. Change your response. You may not be able to change the situation or other people, but you can change how you respond. Set boundaries. Speak your truth. Step away when needed. Each conscious choice breaks the cycle a little more. 4. Seek support. Therapy, coaching, or trusted mentors can help you recognize patterns you can't see alone. Sometimes an outside perspective is essential to wake up fully. 5. Practice self-compassion. This is not about blaming yourself for repeating old patterns. It's about gently guiding yourself out of them. Patience and love for yourself are as important as awareness. 6. Celebrate small wins. Every time you notice a pattern and choose differently, you break the loop a little more. Each choice is a victory, a step toward freedom. Remember, breaking the cycle doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, a series of small awakenings. But with awareness and conscious action, you can finally step out of the loop and create a life that truly belongs to you. This is it, the final chapter. The last lesson of our journey through the traps of the mind. Every struggle, every repeated pattern you've witnessed, was never meant to keep you trapped. It was meant to guide you, to teach you, to bring you back to your true self. You now see the loops clearly. You understand their purpose. And with awareness, you are free. The journey of the traps is over. The series ends here. But your life, your growth, your freedom, your choices are just beginning. Step forward with courage. Step forward with love for yourself. Break old cycles, create new patterns, and choose a life that truly belongs to you. Before you go, if this series has inspired you, Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Inner Shift. Join our community and awaken your true self with us. This is your awakening. This is your liberation. This is the conclusion of the series, but the beginning of your new life. Inner Shift, awaken your true self.